Welcome to ISRA League's Grand Touring Championship, brought to you by the Z1 SimWheel LCD display software. You can buy the software to get all of these dashboards on your computer, your sim rig, and also these telemetry displays that you're going to see in a moment. They also sell hardware, so you can mount it externally to your monitors, and they also have a great selection of custom wheels, all at z1simwheel.com. This is Season 10, Race 8 at Watkins Glen Classic Boot. I'm Daniel Quaroni, and here with me tonight are Anthony Muniz.
Hey, welcome everyone.
And Brian Carey.
I'm eating cheese.
All right, good to know. Okay, so we're going to have the points pop up in just a moment. Here we are, Wyatt Foster leading the HPDs with 150 points. Daniel Giralty is still technically within reach, but really out of reach, so Wyatt's pretty much sealed that deal. And Daniel Giralty leads by a large margin over Ryan Huff, so he's safe in second, and Ryan's safe in third. And then in the Corvettes, Todd Carver, again, pretty big lead over Jeremy Burris there, but Dimas Milana is in a position to bring some challenge to Jeremy in the last three races here of the season. Dimas, however, also reasonably safe, but Lauren Bateman kind of nipping a little bit, not exactly on his heels. But here's the exciting stuff. The McLarens, James Cullen and Chris Dameron Jr. tied for first with 141 points, with Russell Cow 33 big old points down. So they've got first and second tied up, but the championship comes down to the two of them. Then looking at fourth and fifth, Anthony Muniz and Corey Davis tied for fourth. Brian, take us around.
All right, well, this map is with the inner loop there, but as you notice between turns 4 and turns 5, the back straight, actually that great part there, we're going to go straight through that, so no crazy chicane here, which is really good for the multi-class racing. It was a really bottleneck we found before. The rest of the track we're pretty familiar with here. Down the chute, turn 6 into the boot. As you can see on the bottom there, it says the boot, as I just try to say as Canadian as possible. Up there, turns 9 is what gives me the most problems there. It's very difficult corners. You're coming onto the NASCAR track. The camber changes pretty severely as you go past the apex. And then turn 1, probably the most important corner on the track. It's going to give you the speed all the way down the straightaway, or well, the straightaway, the curves that they're on now.
And Wyatt Foster taking pole, but not by a huge amount, over Andy Fuller, 129.3 and 0.8 respectively. Brian Carey and Daniel Giralty on the second row, Brent Briles and John Kelly on the third, Ryan Huff and Tim McLeish on the fourth, and Lance Snyder and Matthew Voigt on the fifth row.
And for our GT1 class, Ty Carver took the pole with a 138.8 in front of Timothy Stahl, who starts alongside. Daniel Buck and Mike Kelly will be on the second row with Lauren Bateman and John Kuzlin on the third. Marty Jeffries and Chuck Chamblis will be on the fourth row with Stephen Clark and Jeremy Burris on the fifth.
Now we got James Cullen taking pole in the McLarens with a 143.93. Daniel Verness with a very rounded time there of 144 flat. Front row, Corey Davis, Chris Darmon Jr. on the second row, Russell Cow, Robin Ainscoe in the third, Troy Harder and Colin McLean on the fourth, and then Anthony Muniz and Joe Jr. on the fifth row.
And check out how Jeremy Burris is taking advantage or getting lucky in the sense that we now have class starting positions. So it used to be that without starting a time there, Burris would have been sent to the back of the field. He would have been gridded automatically there, but now that we have the feature to start by class, he's just going to be at the back of the Corvettes since he didn't set a time. So that's great for him. It means he doesn't have to start from the pits and work his way through the field to start the race out.
But it looks like he is. Is he in the back there? Is that
I was going to say, that's
there?
assuming he's even here. Maybe he just connected to the server, but we'll see. We'll try to look. Hopefully we'll get a good shot of the Corvette field in a moment.
They're actually showing them going up to turn 9 right now, which is what I mentioned. You go around this corner here just as the cars are cresting over the hill. And you get to about here, and the track kind of flattens out on you. No, right there, that line right there. Flattens out on you, so you go from having some positive banking to not having that positive banking anymore, and it really changes the grip of the car.
Actually, this is interesting. For some reason, it decided, instead of showing a bunch of people, just to focus on Wyatt Foster at the beginning. Oh well.
Hey. That's the lead of the pack here. We get to see him lead a race, which is kind of unusual.
That's true. Wyatt Foster gets almost no airtime as he starts accelerating. Gets a pretty good jump there on Andy Fuller.
And he already has an unassailable lead.
Yeah. Actually, Andrew Fuller is under attack here by Brian Carey, who looks on the inside but doesn't quite get up alongside enough to do anything about it. And there's Wyatt Foster. Bye, Wyatt.
Yeah, got a brief look at the back of that car there, and then that was the last I'll ever see of him.
And the LMP all single file as they make their way through the S's, so no big pileups there. That's good to see.
You see him go fly past the chicane there.
I was just going to say, it really weirded me out. I was like, no, everyone missed the turn.
No, it's just something that in real life, with these kind of cars here, just safety-wise, it'd be stupid to go flying into that corner there without that chicane to slow him down. But here in the sim, we don't have that safety concern, as we see Mike Kelly and that guy, Daniel Buck. Sorry, what's his new nickname?
I don't recall. I mean, there was that reference to that, what was it, an SNL skit?
Oh yeah, Buck Futter.
Yes.
Write that out, kids. That is a clean word.
We are a Sun family-friendly show. Good start here for the Corvette sidecar leading, and looks like Daniel Buck and Mike Kelly were fighting it out there, but Buck moves himself up into third place. Now here into the LMP2 cars. It's Lance Snyder being challenged here by Jerry Morsdorf, heading down towards turn 1 over the timing line just now.
And you really got to see the Corvettes there in the LMPs to some extent. They're kind of just like snaking around, kind of almost like a living organism. It looked like watching them go left, right, a lot of back and forth corners here. You can see it right there as the cars are so kind of bunched together. Just looks like it's a snake, like kind of, I guess, crawling. Snakes don't really crawl, do they? Slither. I'm not a biologist, I don't know. What do you want from me, people?
Yeah, and they're able to stay together so in formation there because, as some people have said, in many ways the LMP is one of the easiest cars to drive because it doesn't have enough power to dislodge the back in sections like the S's the way, for example, the Corvettes do. So it's full throttle through there, really no drama at all, and that allows them to all drive flat out right close together very easily.
Okay, Anthony Muniz making a aggressive pass attempt at Troy Harder here, but Troy's going to have a faster line around the outside. We've got a little loose there, but it looks like Anthony's got the corner, and that should get him 8th position. So well done, old chap.
A little bit further up the field is Damron trying to challenge Corey Davis, and these guys fighting for the last of the podium spots. Oh, Damron catches the grass and into the wall. That's a fairly hard impact and manages to not slide out into the rest of the oncoming McLarens, but he has some very severe suspension damage, I think.
Yep, I think that might be the end of the race for Damron Jr. there, which sucks because that is him and James were even on points right now. I know Chris was farther back in the field, but I think that might be a pretty big blow to his championship challenge.
He did really well to keep it out of the rest of the traffic, though, because that with the walls, the Armco wall is so close to the sides, it's very easy to bounce back into someone's way.
Yeah, and back in season 6, I believe we had a little bit of a race here at Watkins Glen, to say the least, with those barriers, really keeping those cars inside the track as much as possible.
Oh, and look at this. Daniel Buck has moved himself up into P2 for the GT1 class, but he's under some severe pressure from Stoll as they make their way down into the outer loop, and Stoll will take the position back, moving him back up into the second place. Buck going to try and challenge back on the inside, get the undercut. See if he's going to make a diving move going into the boot. No, he's not going to quite have the momentum there.
Mike Kelly is right there in the white car just waiting to pounce on these guys here as they're going side by side. Look at Buck come around the outside here going into, it's going to be a tough one to get around, but the way these corners are banked, I mean, sometimes if you get a good run, the momentum going around the outside, you can still kind of hold it. It is a longer way around, but sometimes you can make those passes.
And here for the lead of GT3, Colin now under pressure from Daniel Verness. Colin hasn't had a whole lot of challenge in the when he's been leading, that is, in the GT3. So Verness having a very strong race so far in the early stages here at Watkins.
Yep, clearly out of control as he's keeping it on the track. So something's probably wrong with Daniel's car right now. And there's Tim McLeish, I say my favorite steam whistle car. Steam whistle is by no means my favorite beer. I just like saying steam whistle because it's what's on the screen. I'm actually enjoying what appears to be or claims to be the oldest continuous brewery in the United States, some Youngling, which is a American favorite of mine.
Yeah, on the topic of Verness, actually, he's very happy because it sounds like the Ford GT and the McLaren are going to be paired up in the same class next season. He's very excited because he loves the Ford GT.
I think we're all excited for that.
Not really happy with his performance in McLaren.
Yeah, that Daniel just mentioned the pairing of the McLaren and the Ford GT. We've both run those cars before. That's going to be the first time we're going to run multiple cars in the same class, which is really exciting. The lap times are close enough and tracks to kind of seesaw back and forth, which will provide some interesting racing and results throughout the year. As Verness takes the lead, look at that. Daniel Verness, nice pass going down into the outer loop. And first place, Daniel Verness and the McLarens.
And Corey Davis now coming under pressure from the fourth place car of Russell Cow. And these guys are broken up into almost two groups, first and second, third and fourth. And some great racing here at the top of the class. Looks like they've managed to really separate themselves from fifth place driver Robin Ainscoe, but just behind him is a fairly large group as well.
Oh, Stephen Clark is really babying it around there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he has some damage from how he's driving right now, but...
No, that was that turn 9 that I talked about before, and it's difficult in the LMP, but with the power in that Corvette and the grip that you have there, it's not an easy corner to put the power down.
And now back with the train of McLarens fighting for what is essentially all looking at the first spot. Oh, some oversteer there from Verness as he exited the final corner. James Cullen gets a great run, and that should give him the lead back as they make their way into turn 1.
Yeah, but Verness, if he timed that right, he should be able to get in the draft. And Corey Davis is right there too with Russell Cow just right on their heels. So looks like Verness is going to have the run going down into the outer loop. But when they're battling out, let's see if Davis is able to do anything about this. Oh, and Cow is off.
Oh.
Yep, that's damage, folks. He is off the track and out of the race. He is just pulling off this side right now. And no, I know, it's Matthew Voigt. That's good. We like Matthew, but we should be back to that McLaren battle. But I guess he's making a move on Jerry Mooresdorf here, so let's take a look. It's for 10th place.
Trust the director, man. He knows what it's doing.
I don't think he does. But it is some good
Most
racing,
of the time
so.
he does. He does.
We are coming fresh off a race where we watched Todd Carver drive around by himself for 3/4 of an hour. I win.
It knows what it's doing, it just doesn't always know why.
Fair enough. So basically what we're saying is our cybernetic director has a man crush on Todd Carver. He directs with his heart.
Statement. He does.
There we go. And yep, well, Daniel Verness is in the lead. Cullen back to second, Corey Davis in third.
And if you want to know why that happened, you didn't see the pass for the lead. It's because we've been watching them for too long, and so the interest level on them started to drop, according to the director.
Oh, well, look at this. This is Daniel Buck, and he is fighting with John Kuzlin, so he must have fallen back, yeah, because these guys are fighting it out for 5th place in class, so Buck must have had an off at some point, and he's trying to make his way back through the field.
And on the nose of Anthony Muniz, looks like, oh, that's what's happening. I was going to say he's falling back a little bit there, but that's because he is getting passed by Joe Jr. And easy job for Joe. Probably got a good run through turn 1 all the way up the S's there.
And Joe joined in time this time so that we actually know he's in the race, which is good to see. There he is, Joe Jr. His name's on the screen, Joe, so take a screenshot of that because we haven't seen that all year. No, actually, I don't really keep track when he joins a race because I turn that message off, but He's been in most of our races this year. Unfortunately, there's Andy Fuller coming by. And there's me.
Oh, and there's, looks like Daniel Gralty just behind Brian Carey there as well. So a close battle here for second, third, and fourth in the LMPs as they make their way through that large group of McLarens. Also looks like Brent Bryles not too far behind the battle there in the LMP class.
Yeah, and since the McLarens were all so close, we're going to have to see how this shakes up their battle here.
Yep. Well, there's...
Oh, Gralty got a good run, probably a better run, but it doesn't look like it was a good enough run, unfortunately.
No, it's really tough weaving through that traffic there. Well, looks like Cullen's going to make his usual pass into turn one. Probably allowing Verness. Oh, here come the LMPs, though, so this is going to mix things up a bit. Ooh, this looks scary.
Oh, and Fuller makes it through without too much of an issue. Brian Carey's going to try and thread the needle going through there, going in the S's, trying his best to stay in front of Gralty. Losing some momentum, but he's in the right position to kind of make Gralty scrub some of that speed off. We can see how close he is. Brian Carey going to hold the outside going into the turn 5 outer loop. And he's not even really going to have to defend there from Gralty. He's managed to keep the momentum up just enough to stay in front.
Yeah, good use of traffic there. You saw James Cullen taking up the right side of the track, and Carey was able to take up enough of the left side that there was no room for Gralty to get by, but you know he was cursing in his helmet right there.
Yes, I was.
I meant Daniel, but you too.
Oh no, I was. It was so hard coming through traffic here. I think I mentioned on the forums too, is for some reason I feel that I'm pretty good with the slower traffic, that I don't, get on anyone, dive bomb people too much, but for some reason Watkins Glen, it just never goes well. The odds that I will murder someone and lapping them are very, very high here compared to other tracks. Actually, is this a battle for, what is this?
This is Brett. Yep. This is Lauren Bateman, who we are on board with right now. Yep,
I was
there's the confirmation.
with Todd Carver. Alright, there we go. Holy geez, Daniel Buck. So apparently the Daniel Buck, the DB, actually stands for dive bomb, because that was in there really deep and he wasn't able to hold on.
I think we've used that bit once before, actually.
That was the first time I got to use it. We talked about using it. Just didn't have a good opportunity. It's easier for me to say that than the other one. I said it the once and I still feel uncomfortable. Because I'm just worried I'm going to say the wrong one.
And looks like Joe Jr. is going to put a move here on Troy Harder going into the outer loop. And yeah, he's going to have that position made and make their way under braking.
And as you'll be able to tell from Joe's car, I believe he is actually from Jamaica, so that's...
I think he is, yeah. Now on board with Gralty. So he's right behind Brian Carey. They made their way through turn 9 now into turn 10. Is Andy Fuller not too far up the road? So he was able to separate himself just a bit from Carey as they made their way through traffic. But for the most part, they have a clear track in front of them. I think there'll be a few Corvettes coming up, but close battle here between Gralty and Carey.
And that's a battle for third there, by the way.
Yeah. I always get the feeling sometimes in certain tracks that I'm just like, my job is to be a tow for Dan. Just cut the air in front of him.
Let's see how well the drift works here. Gralty pretty close as they head down towards the outer loop. He's going to take a look up on the inside, but it's actually a bit of faster lines in the LMP to take that outside line, and that's exactly what Brian did. He holds on to that third place.
Yeah, because it's such a high-speed corner, when you go into there, around the inside, if you start inside and are able to drift out, then yeah, you can use the width of the track and go faster, but if you're forced to stick on the inside, because it's a shorter and it's a lot tighter, less banking, that's what happens there. And let's see if Verness is able to retake the lead. It's going to be a fantastic battle to watch all the way through, but it looks like he's got it. Verness for the
Yep, with the that's a great pass there going into turn 5 with the McLaren's not having the same amount of downforce that the LMP has. Doesn't seem to have that same effect going into the outer loop, and we've seen quite a few passes executed there. And here we're taking a look at Chuck Chambliss for the first time in that number 15 Golf Corvette. He's right all over the back bumper of Marty Jeffries. These guys fighting for 7th place in GT1. And
so,
also
yeah,
the go ahead. Just going to point out the battle for the 2nd place, and then LMP's making their way through now as well.
I don't think we ever confirmed it, but Jeremy Burst did start the race, and he's currently shown in 9th position, right ahead of Stephen Clark and behind Chuck Chambliss.
And that was some close calls there for Brian Carey as he made his way past that GT1 traffic going through the S's. I don't think there's any contact there, but it was really close as he fought his way through. Looks like Gralty's going to try and move on the inside. Carey holds the outside going through the outer loop, manages to keep that speed up, and it looks like he's going to hold on to the position heading down into turn 6. He does. They dive on the inside of Kuzlin there in the Corvette and still manages to hold on to that 3rd position. That was a good defending job there by Carey.
Actually, that incident there actually cost me about 12 to 15 kilometers an hour down the straightaway. So, change places. James Cullen coming through to retake the lead. This is a fantastic. Well, looks like Verness is holding the outside. See if he can hold it enough to get down the inside for the next one, but I don't think so. It's not. He's not going to have another chance to get around James until the next lap, I don't think, unless James makes a mistake. No, Tim, don't hit the wall. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was good. Way not to hit anything, and Stephen Clark not quite sure what to do there. He's just going to wait it out, let Tim get back up to speed, because he can stick it up the inside there, but just risk a collision. And let's see where he's there, 9th place. There you go.
And now back with Gralty and Carey as they make their way down towards the outer loop. And now looks like Gralty will have the position. Carey trying to hold it up there on the outside, but Gralty had the more speed there going down the straightaway and manages to move himself up into 3rd place. And back with that tight battle for the lead in GT3. Cullen now holding that position, managed to hold it on as they made their way through the boot section of Watkins Glen. Now it looks like we'll have to see what happens. Verness very close as they make their way through the S's section. So I imagine he'll use the draft and try the move again going down into turn 5 like we've seen a few other times. Cullen's going to hold the inside this time as they make their way down that long back straight.
See if this is able to break the cycle here, but no, it looks like Verness has enough of a run. Cullen's going to come back around the inside, but I think Verness is going to have the next corner. This will allow Corey Davis to actually get his nose in there a little bit, because he hasn't been able to play for a few laps there as these guys have been battling it out. He's been just that far enough behind.
And Chuck Chambliss still fighting with Marty Jeffries as they make their way down the front straight right now. Those guys fighting it out for 7th place in the class. And Chambliss able to move his way past past Marty Jeffries, and that moves him up into the 7th position. Oh, there's confirmation that Jeremy Brisk is out and racing. There's his car right there.
So you really get to see the speed difference there of the Corvettes. Corvette's done the straightaway just as fast, but those LMPs are barely, they're lifting a little bit going into that corner there where the Corvettes have to, pretty much heavy on the brakes. So look pretty much the same coming down the straight and then just braking, the LMPs fly by.
And speaking of braking, you saw Warren Bateman, who was that? That was Tim... No, Jerry Morrisdorf? Who was putting on the brakes in that LMP? I missed.
Probably
I think
Kelly.
it was,
John
yeah.
Kelly?
Some guy. Probably.
Some guy. If I say enough of the names, I'll get it right.
He's literally just going through the list. Matthew Voigt, maybe?
Yes, because we were on board with Jerry Morrisdorf, weren't we?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying that close attention. This looks interesting because those Corvettes up ahead, it's going to block things up for Matthew Voigt and see if...
Yep, it was Matthew Voigt. Here we are, back on board with Jerry Morrisdorf.
Alright, so he's lost a little bit of momentum there, and a little bit of a lift. We'll try to get a draft from him, little draft from him. Alright, I like this draft better. Here we go. Jerry Morrisdorf coming down. John Kuzlin running wide to let these guys by. That's actually one good lapping maneuver there in the LMPs, is if the Corvettes and the McLarens need to hold a tight line there, the LMPs can actually drive around the outside without too much of an issue. Alright, see if James Cullen can do anything about Verness this lap.
And actually, I think we broke the cycle at one point because Verness had managed to stay in the lead for an entire lap without changing positions with Voigt. Or Cullen, rather.
Some guy. You all know who you are. Yeah, you got Anthony Muniz. That's no mistaking him. He's not sitting right beside me, but virtually beside us. Anyways,
yeah.
He's chasing down Troy Harder. Got a good draft here. He's got some good speed. He's ducking out of the draft. I'm not sure why right now, but anyways, it looks like he's going to do it. So, oh, that's why. Maybe that was why. That was Dan Gralty. So James Mines and Mike Young aren't here. So the Red Bull LMP is Dan. Muniz are on the outside of Troy Harder. A little bit of a long way around there. That corner's a little flatter, so he's going to have to try to do an undercut. Now he's got an LMP on the inside. Brent Briles. Zippo Signs.
And back with Jerry Morrisdorf, and the LMP still fighting with Matthew Voigt going into turn 5. Got a Corvette there, that should be Daniel Buck. And Matthew Voigt really getting held up there. Oh, and Morrisdorf not deciding to go. All right, now he does, as Buck really lets him by there going into the boot section.
Yeah, sometimes you have to balance aggression with patience, and Jerry Morrisdorf definitely showing a little bit of patience there, and I think Daniel was trying to let him through on the inside, but Jerry didn't want to just follow the other car through just in case he turned in. And Colin McLean here with some sort of a flag on top of his car, passing Robin Ainscough. I think it's like Ireland, right? Something like that?
I was going to say, I think it's Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, no, probably definitely Ireland. Two of us agree, so that's close enough.
When Ainscough gets a bit of oversteer or something there, exiting the top of the S's, and loses some time there to Colin McLean, heading down the back straight.
Not a lot of time, though. He's able to get back in the draft, and oh, look at that LMP just come. That's Ryan Huff, it looks like. Going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, at the lower speeds, there isn't too much of a draft effect on the McLarens, but at the really high speeds towards the top of their range, they do get a pretty good draft there.
Are you sucking on a toffee right now?
Sorry, you have your cheese, I have artichoke and broccoli and cheese soup. So I was chewing some artichoke there.
Trying to think of something to say to that.
Viewers at home who want to know what we're eating.
Chewing on some artichoke.
So yes, viewers will be happy to know that I have remained professional and I only have a bottle of water.
I've got some strawberry Pez here too, just in case anyone wants some.
Hey man, I got home at like 7 and then I had to walk the dogs and didn't have long before we had to do this. I'm eating dinner.
I just like cheese. What can I say? I think Jerry Morsdorf just got past Matthew Voigt. I don't know what we were talking about, but I think some racing was happening there. And look at Lance Snyder go flying past here as Romboy Troy Harder, who's got Anthony Muniz right behind him. Oh no!
Oh.
Joe Jr. I don't know what that was. Let's just put it this way. I'm going to clear that up. It looked like Lance was well clear of him, but I don't know if that was a net code contact or not, or if Joe just got incredibly scared by the Iron Maiden at Force 1 LMP.
Yeah, I think he was surprised there. I don't think there was any contact there.
He's from Jamaica, so he's probably not too familiar with the heavy metal. Have it come right into his face like that, it was a little intimidating, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I think probably he was expecting Lance to go by faster, and so when he was mid-corner and turning in, and still seeing Lance next to him, oh yeah, look at that! He got nervous and pulled out of it. Oh,
look,
Anthony's closing! Oh!
Wow, I heard stories, but I think Anthony knew that was coming too, so that's probably why he was quiet.
Yep.
Brilliant pass for 6th place, and then done. And just in case you guys didn't notice or whatever, I rage quit about 6 laps ago, so... I was having such a good battle with Dan there, and then I got a little bit of damage, and suddenly my car is like 10 to 15k slower down the straightaway, and just, for some reason, my level of fun just went from like 100 to like -2, and it's like, I'm not doing this for another hour, and then stopped. Looking at my time to racing the McLaren next year, which hopefully, if I don't graze another car, just briefly or look at it the wrong way, I'll be able to continue on without too much in the way of damage.
Well, don't worry. You can, as I made Dan find out in our last race, they can take a little bit of a beating without too much of an issue.
Are you kidding? As I proved at VIR, they can take a heck of a beating. I was in the tire wall a couple times there.
This race is just still pretty close. Where is Corey in all this? He's about 2 seconds back now, so...
Yep, there he is. He's still chasing them, but he's definitely out of the draft now, so he's just keeping up on his pure pace alone at the moment.
Yeah, these guys have learned how to play nice. They're not passing each other every lap. Now they're just trying to, conserve as much as possible, only taking runs when they need to. Now I got the Turn 1 hero teammates, 2nd and 3rd. Tim Stahl in the black 77. Mike Kelly in the white number 2. And a whole crap load of cars up ahead of them.
This is, of course, Stoll's home track. He is a flag marshal here at Watkins Glen.
Among other places, I think Timothy hails from a suburb of Buffalo. I want to say Amherst, but that's just the only one that I know offhand, so we'll call it Amherst. He's from Amherst, why not? Probably knows where it is. Anyways, and then Mike Kelly is from Nebraska. Is he from Nebraska? Oklahoma?
I think Nebraska.
I got it wrong one time. I made fun of his white legs in a picture I saw, but thinking he was from somewhere a little sunnier. All I know is wherever he comes from, that's normal. Daniel Buck. Where he comes from, white legs are not normal. Brazil. Into the pits.
Alright, and that's a bit of an early pit stop for
the way he did it almost
race.
looked like a last-moment decision, too.
Yeah, but John Kuzlin's in the pits, too, and John Kuzlin's like the last of the pit stop guys. I don't know if they run into each other or not, need to fix damage, but they're kind of in the same area of track, perhaps. It's like a caged animal waiting to be released. And it's going to maul its handler.
And on board with Marty Jeffries, you can see Chuck Chambliss just up and to the left, now directly ahead.
Just made me think of the Spitter episode of Seinfeld for some reason. Does anyone remember that one?
I never really liked Seinfeld.
And when that one came on, I'm pretty sure Anthony was...
Yeah, since I probably was a little kid, so no.
You're probably like 1, actually. It was a JFK parody, and if you You know what? If you've seen it, you get it, you understand. If you haven't, there's no way I can explain it to you. So, moving on to John Kuzlin and Daniel Buck coming out of the pits.
And that actually means that Kuzlin passed Buck in the pit lane because he came in a fair amount of distance behind Buck. But you can see Buck makes the pass going into the outer loop there. But so it means that either Buck had a bit of damage. We know that he did fall down the GT1 class earlier in the race, so it's possible he had a bit of damage he repaired during that pit stop. I guess we'll have to see how his pit strategy plays out.
John Kuzlin, a very coolly number 27.
I don't get it. It's 3Q, or no, sorry, it's 3 to the, what is it?
27?
Yeah, it is.
It's 3 to the third power, but it's
That's
also
what I thought. Yeah.
Gilles Villeneuve.
Ah, there we go. All right.
Gilles Villeneuve, Ayrton Senna, Jean Alesi, Alan
How
Jones.
can you tell? They don't put numbers on their cars anymore.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong type. Never mind, you can ignore me now.
You've just broken my brain. I don't know what to do now. What were you talking about?
Clearly stuff I know nothing about.
Anyways, number 27 is a very famous motor racing number, to which, whatever, and then I think, because my number 27 was always my first choice for number, 99 would be my second choice, but because both those choices were taken in ISRA, I split the difference and picked 79. Which is coincidentally my hockey number as well. Pardon me?
Who has 99? I don't think anyone has 99 anymore.
No, well, Greg Moore had it.
I think you can petition for that one now if you wanted it.
Well, they did retire it back in the kart days, but for some reason IndyCar, I think Townsend Bell actually ran that last 2011. I know he's got the number 60 now for the Indy 500, but Townsend Bell's last season, I think he was the number 99.
What are you... I'm talking about in our league. What are you talking about? Real life racing.
99? Oh, Kevin Swap has it.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, he's not in this series right now, but he could come back. But anyways, I got the number 79. It was my hockey number, and year I was born, I guess. Combination of 27.99. Anyways, there is some racing here, so I'm going to... starting to feel weird about numbers. It's like we're playing Who's on First.
Ainscough diving up on the inside of McLean going into turn 5 trying to take that 4th position away, but McLean able to hold it around the outside. That gives him the inside for the turn 6 shoot.
Yep. And Andy Fuller's giving him a big come on.
Well, Fuller has a pretty sizable gap of about 5 seconds to Daniel Gralty, so he does have a little bit of a gap.
And he's about 20 seconds behind Wyatt Foster, who is technically still in this race, but I don't know if you can call it being in a race when you're not ever racing anyone. Oh, there's I forgot James Cullen's in there somewhere. There we go. So the Corvettes split up the McLaren battle as Tim Stall entered the pits. Very early for first pit stops, but I guess if you're wearing your tires...
We're close to about halfway now.
As noticed, most guys take it to just past halfway, but we're looking just before halfway right now, halfway being 35 minutes left, or a minute before that, so...
I guess if they're crossing or getting close to the pits here, they figure if they did one more lap, it'd be past halfway, so let's go early.
Yeah, but if they're wearing out their tires too, then making pitting a little bit lap early will give them track position when they come out. They'll have to fight a little bit harder at the end, but any time you can make up is worthwhile. I noticed in the LMPs too that tires last pretty well at most tracks, so pitting later is generally more beneficial than pitting early, but I mean, whatever works. And Robin Ainscough finally takes position for Colin McLean, and Brent Briles coming around the outside, and car in pits. Who's this, Lance Snyder?
Yeah, Lance Snyder, yes.
Those green guys over there, white and green, just looking at him. One guy's like, you call it a pit stop? And the other guy's like, I know, right? Let's watch this race. There's a McDonald's sign in the background, too. I wanted to see Lance's pit stop, but I guess we're going to watch some close racing between Colin McLean and Robin Ainscough.
Yeah, somehow I think this is a little bit more interesting to watch, but I guess we'll let the viewer be the judge of that.
I'm also noticing the scenery there. I don't know what kind of trees they were, but they look like palm trees almost, which I know would be weird for upstate New York, but...
Yeah, definitely not.
I was driven through there a few times. Hey, actually, maybe if I time my trip down to New Jersey this year, I can see if I can throw Watkins Glen on the map. I don't think it's too far out of the way of a potential route down there.
You go through Buffalo?
Well, yeah, I have to go through Buffalo, but normally I go through Syracuse and then down through Binghamton. But there's another way you go from Buffalo and then kind of cut across off the main highways, which will take you down near Corning and Watkins Glen. As I'm sure you know, as you being from around there.
Yep.
And the fight in GT3 broken up just a little bit with the traffic, but both of those guys still have roughly about a second or so separated each other. Corey Davis, meanwhile, has fallen back a bit further than Cullen has. He's about 6 seconds back at the moment, so Davis really not in the fight for that top spot just right now, but we'll have to see what happens once pit stops play out. As you see, Chambliss exiting his pits. Beltran, meanwhile, right on board with him right now, had a great run on Matthew Voigt, who was held up a bit. I believe that was Daniel Buck coming out of the S's, but couldn't do anything with that run. I think I even heard him feather the throttle just a bit as they made their way down towards that corner, so nothing he could do there. Ooh, that was close there from the GT3 leader, Verness. Yeah.
I think he's close enough now. Even if he gets a decent run through this corner here, he'll be in the draft, and coming out of the S's, he'll be, oh, look at that, he's using all the track there. It's one of those lines through turn one where you can cut it shorter line, faster, but if you go wide and keep your momentum, you might gain some top speed, and both lines are equally beneficial, but it looks like James has got enough speed here, and Verness is protecting. No, he's not, so Cullen going down the inside. I think he's got the thing to get the position, but does he have enough to hold on to it? He doesn't have it yet.
Oh, they're alongside. They are racing side by side through this corner.
External
and
camera
now Cullen's
nice.
in first, but can you hold it? No, I don't think you can. Oh, wow, let's look at the pits.
Yeah. Like I say, the director, he knows what he's doing, he just doesn't know why. Oh, that was close. There, Matthew Voigt just getting around him, so I guess that was kind of exciting. Daniel Verness was able to hold on to that, by the way, folks at home. And as I've discovered, a lot of people watch this while at work, for instance, which would be nice. A lot better than actually doing work, as Tim Stoll destroys Jeremy Burris. I'm going to assume that he let him by there, because he went flying past.
Yeah, Burris hasn't made his pit stop yet this race, so I'm guessing he's just kind of letting him go by, and Burris running his own race at the moment.
I don't care what people say. Beer is refreshing.
I don't know, does that qualify as our Brian Carey's random thought of the race?
I think I pretty much hit that on the head when I said that I was eating cheese, but... Although I was actually eating cheese, so it made perfect sense to me. Was there a car off there?
Oh yeah, that was Jeremy Burris there off at turn number 9 in the, looked like he was in the tire barrier.
Maybe he had to go for a pee.
Well, let's tie it all together and put previous important messages from Brian Carey. Remember, he's eating cheese, he's drinking beer, and apparently basement farts are very lethal. So let's see how he does for the rest of the half hour we have left here.
It's called Brian Carey Mathematics. You do the math. Actually, ironically, I'm doing pretty well. I haven't funked myself into the basement yet. There's still 30 minutes of race left, so stay tuned, folks.
Oh, and looks like Cullen going for a passing opportunity we haven't seen him make yet. That's down into the heel of the boot, which is turn number 8, and he makes the pass on Verness to take first position back. Verness going to try and fight his way back through, going into turn 9. Couldn't quite do it. Oh, and Daniel Buck is off. I believe that's turn 5.
Nope, there.
And he's off again. He does not look well. Oh, he is giving up. He is cutting the track, going on to the short track, and he's just going to exit out there.
And you can hear in the background, Daniel is knocking his dishes all over the place, apparently.
No, that's my wife.
Is she cleaning up after you?
That's all part of the all part of our catering service we have here in the booth. Oh, wow!
Dr. Huff.
No, I think she's eating some food herself. I am heating up another little half bowl of broccoli and cheese soup, though.
That sounds delicious, I guess.
That's good.
These guys
And we have here Cullen versus Verness, and Cullen was ahead before, wasn't he?
Yeah, Verness goes back around going into turn 5. He's made that pass about, I don't know, 10 times now, maybe.
Good stuff up at the front. Oh, and here is a Corvette getting in the middle of a bunch of angry LMPs. That's Mike Kelly, who's going wide, and I think he keeps it off the tires. Yes, he does.
Yeah, you go over that line, you lose the camber, and it's easy for you to run wide, but Mike holding on. Look at cars going fast. Chuck Chambliss and John Kuzlin battling for a 6th position. And an LMP coming up behind him going, where do I go? It's Jerry Morsdorf. He has no idea.
Chambliss takes that position away, and Morsdorf will thread his way through both of those cars. Although Chambliss goes very wide into turn 6, but he manages to get a nice exit out and stays in front of Kuzlin.
Hardy Jeffries into the pits at a 2nd place. So he moved up the field nicely there. Kind of an angled pit stop, but I guess that works. As he has pinned his right front tire man up against the wall. Poor guy has no more legs, but that's fine. We didn't have any legs to begin with because you can't even see him, but you get the idea.
And a bunch of traffic here for these guys to make their way through. We've got a Corvette, a McLaren, and also Tim McLeish in the LMP. I think these guys are actually battling with him. So this quickly becoming a 3-way battle as Voigt and Huff make their way past the Corvette of Stoll.
Yeah, they did that pretty much without any real issues. No drama to be seen. Oh, it looks like Huff is closing in on Voigt. As we go on board, you can see really close under braking, putting the pressure on, taking a narrower line, but he's not going to have any opportunity for a couple more corners. You can see traffic. James Cullen right up there, and Verness ahead of him. Now Matthew Voigt braking there in that corner, which the LMPs don't normally do. He's taking a very narrow line. He's going to lose the momentum, and he goes into the pits anyway.
Well, that breaks up that battle for a bit, but we've got the battle at the front of GT3 still going on. It's Verness in front of Cullen at the moment, and I think he should stay that way for at least a couple more corners. Verness has a... well, it's not really much of a lead, but it's a fairly big distance as he weaves across the track, I guess, trying to see if he can't break the draft of Cullen.
Yeah, you get to stay with this battle for a period of time, which is nice to see for once. And while we're watching this battle here, I'll just let you know that Todd Carver is on 27 laps. He's in the lead, about 38 seconds ahead of Timothy Stoll, and we will keep you posted as this battle continues.
You kind of miss seeing him, don't you?
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. I hope he's alright. I think he's lonely, that 38.28 seconds up in the lead.
I don't know, he might be.
Just remember, people, that if you're suffering from the terrible grip of loneliness, you're not alone. Except you are alone. So very alone.
So that's, I don't really know what to call that, actually.
I got it from a demotivational poster.
Yeah, basically what it's basically what it is.
You visit despair.com. You can find they do calendars. They're actually pretty funny stuff up there. Anyways, speaking of websites, z1simwheel.com, our sponsor, I actually had a chance to try out the software, and hopefully my salary here unfortunately isn't that great that I can purchase one on my own, but got to try it, and it definitely a worthwhile product. I mean, it can do a number of different things there. Obviously there's telemetry features, but it's really good feature in keeping track of fuel usage, mileage, pit stop planning, checking things like tire wear, and other just kind of planning out your race, all kind of a fingertip if you do the LCD box, the touchscreen, or even the standalone software if you have an extra monitor. Really great product, and I was finally glad I got a chance to finally try it out. However, you can go try out the demo. It does last 15 minutes, and the software itself, I believe, is very reasonably priced at $50, and LCD screens, varying prices above that. But if you have a dedicated sim rig, I would recommend going to get one of those touchscreen LCD boxes there, and really do a job from z1simwheel.com. Very good product. Or Z1 Sim Wheels, or Canuck friends like to call it.
Aren't you our Canuck friend?
Yeah, I guess. I'd like to get the product name pronounced in the country that it was done. A regional neutral accent, if you will.
Now, does that give you live tire wear as you're running? You see tire temps and degradation?
Temps, yes. Degradation, probably not. Because I don't
Still,
think that's...
temps pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's helpful. Like I said, with 15 minutes, there's only so much that can go into it, but using a product like iSpeed, which is a very good product in and of itself, the more level of immersion and options you'll get with the Z1 Sim Wheel, it's definitely worth the investment if you can afford that, which in a few years is one of those things. I'll start getting into my sim rig more along the lines of what Dan has. But for now, as those of you who've seen my video of what... Actually, I need to post that. I did another video of my current sim rig, which isn't a hell of a lot better, but it's definitely a little bit better. Well, James Cullen seems to be struggling a little bit. Maybe just the LMPs and the Corvettes passing by, but Daniel Verness is, well, I guess not struggling that much. It's just the cars lapping around, and they can resume their battle. 21 minutes left, and these guys are still nose to tail. This is ridiculously awesome. Yep, so we get to follow this around for quite a bit again. So let's see what James Cullen can do let's see, go to the onboard here. So he's going to watch this. You come across the line right there. See there's a car kind of lurched up and down. That's when we get the transition off of the boot section onto the NASCAR section of the track. The rest of the corners are... That's one good thing about Watkins Glen. Most of the corners here, in fact all the corners, are positively cambered just a little bit. So you can really get a good run through the corners. They're left and right, and it's a really good flow track. But then that turn 9, as you're coming off the boot section onto the NASCAR portion of the track, is the only time where we really get that upset. So you really have to set up your car for the rest of the track and just kind of hold on for that corner. I have had more than my share of spins there in turn 9.
Cohen right now holding at about 2/3 of a second, 0.67 seconds behind Verness. Oh, look at that crazy little weaving maneuver that Verness pulls off. Gotta be careful. If you were any closer, that could be considered blocking.
Oh no, he's so far ahead at that point there. Anything blocking, cut the guy's forward momentum a little bit, that's just a little effort to break the draft, but any more than a weave back and forth, then you turn into Lewis Hamilton, and no one wants that. Well, except for the driving really, really fast part, and, you know, making $35 million a year, and, you know,
Actually,
getting to do a Pussycat Dolls singer, I guess you call her. Could you call her a singer? Is that what she does?
Probably more a dancer would be more accurate.
Yeah, but then she was on Dancing with the Stars as a contestant, which that kind of confused me a little bit. If that's like her profession.
Yeah, that seems a little unfair.
And for those of us who have followed F1 over the years, she's a for the races that she is at, a good substitute for Mika Häkkinen's. Oh, wow. I think he's able to hold on to that there, but cost him a little bit of time.
He must have lost some time, and he may
more
have touched the
concerning
grass
for
there as
Tim
well.
McLeish there, I think. But you guys from back in the day, F1, the 90s, remember Area Häkkinen? I think an F1 race was like 30% cars in the track, 70% watching Mika Häkkinen's wife stand there in the pits. And didn't you guys find it weird that Ron Dennis had a weird thing for blonde finish drivers? Am I speaking to the wrong crowd here?
Yeah,
Well, Ron
I
Dennis
know.
was a little bit before me, so yes.
I'm sure enough people on here know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, John Koopland, 7th place, chasing down Chuck Chambliss. His battle has kind of been off and on throughout the race, and looks like John's got the pace right now. I don't know if Chuck's is slow down top speed or if John's just getting one hell of a draft. Oh, there's one hell of a draft right now. Corvette's would punch a pretty big hole in the air, and Chuck Chambliss is punching a pretty big hole in the edge of the track. Where did he just go? Hopefully he didn't hit anything.
Yeah, I think he managed to keep it on the track and out of the wall. Yep, there's the confirmation, but he lost quite a bit of time, and of course the position to Koopland.
You can see him braking really late into that turn. Obviously trying not to scrub off too much speed and go too wide. Oh, big advantage here though, as Koopland has to stay wide for Briles.
And basically, as long as Chuck can stay close enough, probably within about, call it 0.8 of a second, about a second to a second and a half, I think you still get a little bit of a draft, but really not enough to close up. But you're within 0.8 of a second. That draft at a turn 1 there, you can probably pull up at least to the rear bumper of the guy in front of you, potentially make a pass if you get the run out of their right.
Well, he has it right now as he is a half second behind. And yes, closing just a little bit. Oh, under braking though, losing a little bit of time. Looking at the live timing here. And keeping it to 0.65 seconds. So gain nothing, lost nothing. But let's see how he goes down the straight and where he ends up.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I think my live timing ends up being a little bit behind because...
Yeah, that's right, we're 3 seconds behind. That was actually my... No, wait, I fixed it for this. My live
Did you?
timing should be right. Yeah.
Okay. I just noticed that when we get the, say who's going to be coming up next or how long we're going to be following someone, it normally switches a few seconds before it says it's going to, so I'll have to pay attention next time.
It may be a second or two off, yeah.
Regardless, still better than the race where we had nothing.
Yeah.
That was a tough one to call. We're not superheroes, people. We need some information.
And it was dark.
Oh, yeah, that right. So I forgot about that opening.
Oh, Chuck Chambliss having to lift there with that oversteer. He loses the momentum. But will, that's Ryan Huff, I think, do the same thing, exactly the same thing as last lap, only this time Chambliss a little bit closer to Koopland.
Yeah, that thing backfires. It's the engine just coming down there as they go through the gears, backing off the throttle. Imagine in real life you get to see some flames coming out of the exhaust there.
Well, it might be a little hard to see because it has the exhaust on the side, but
yeah, it's one thing when I first went to my first kart race in Vancouver. The turbo backfire as they're backing off into the corners is pretty awesome. I'm wondering if we'll get that with the new generation of Formula 1 cars next year.
ooh, that was close there for Chambliss exit at the top of the S's there. Just managed to barely keep it off the wall. Oh, I'm just noticing that James Cullen is out of the pit lane and he exits in 3rd place. Verness and Corey Davis are still yet to make their pit stops, so they're stretching their fuel about as far as you can. It looks like they probably tanked up to the maximum, and they're just going to run that all the way out and do a little splash at the end. Maybe take a little tires. Well, I guess we'll have to see. And actually, this is a fight here for 2nd place in the LMP class. We're following Gralty right now. Now we're following Andy Fuller. And you can see that gap has closed right up. Ooh, quickly 3 wide there at the top of the S's down towards turn 1. Oh, and Andy Fuller lost all his momentum. And that means Gralty is passed for 2nd place.
13.5 minutes left, folks, and this LMP battle is heating up for 2nd. We got Wyatt Foster 3 laps ahead. Actually, I think he's doing the next track right now. Well, these guys are battling hard. And just so you know, for those people following the series, yes, Andy Fuller is registered in the McLaren, and that's the car he normally drives. However, when you select cars in iRacing, once you selected a car, even if by mistake, you're forced to continue with that car for the session. So Andy's racing the LMP this race. Says Mumbly the commentator.
Also, just pointing out that the top 2 cars in GT3, Verness and Corey Davis, into the pit lane now. Well, they have been for a bit now. There's Corey Davis exiting, and also we just had Verness exiting as well. So, looks like Daniel Verness has come out in front of James Cullen.
I have to say, Andy Fuller is doing pretty well for accidentally having jumped into the car without having expected to be driving it.
Well, that being said, Andy does drive this car pretty regularly and is on the main servers there as a championship front runner, so he's very experienced with this car.
That's true, yes.
Yeah. Doesn't have Wyatt Foster speed, but he's definitely not a slow peddler, that's for sure. And as you can see there, Kaiser Racing Machine. So, driving the car normally occupied in this race by Ryan Corns, who's still off on baby duty. And also hernia duty. I don't know if you want everyone knowing that, but yeah.
That's a heavy baby.
No, it was unrelated. Got everything pushed back in the right place, and he should be up and at him in no time.
And a bit of GT traffic here for the battle. These 2 guys battling for 2nd place. Gets by, I missed who is that? That's Curtis Jones and yeah, the McLaren there. And also Corey Davis here. Both of those guys will get by before turn 1, so minimal impact on the fight for 2nd place in LMP2.
You see how smooth Andy is on the steering there. No effort at all. Just letting the car go into the corner, rotate on its own. Just getting the maximum of all that aerodynamics, but think of aerodynamics, I think he's close enough getting a pretty good tow here. He got a pretty good run at turn 1, and I don't know if he has enough to get him by the corner here, but he's definitely all over him at this point.
Yeah, Fuller really closing the gap as they make way into turn 5. Wasn't close enough to make a move, but that gap is just about nothing now, making their way into the boot.
kind of watching this in silent awe. This is a great battle here just to see how Andy's getting through some of these corners.
And looks like there'll be McLaren's just up in front of them, so that might impact the battle because it is a bit difficult to pass there through turns 9, 10, and 11. You kind of have to be in the right place at the right time to make sure you can get past. But these guys here a bit further down the LMP2 field, fighting it out for 8th position. Jerry Morsdorf leading Matthew Voigt.
Up here we go right now. Some GT traffic. The battle for the lead is closed right up for the McLarens, and the battle for second place is... Oh, Fuller down the inside. Doesn't get it, but nice look there. Both drivers doing very well not to run into each other. The McLaren's getting a bit of a draft, but the LMPs will pull away.
And Fuller much closer to the back of Gralty's LMP as they make their way onto the straight. He's going to have a great run. Gralty defending the inside, and Fuller's going to have the outside, which we have seen in the LMP is a bit faster going around turn 5. So let's see how they do going into turn 5.
Always got it. That's one thing, the LMP, if you want to pass someone, protecting the inside, that corner there, it's not necessarily the best idea if you're trying to hold someone back, and Fuller able to take advantage on the outside.
Let's see how they... there's only one GT up here, and let's see if... ooh, close call there for Andy Fuller. Wow. Little miscommunication there. Looked like he expected the GT car to pull over to the other side so he can take the inside, but I think that was Karl Mumbauer was just going to slow up and let him go by around the outside, but ended up being a very close call there for Fuller. He manages to get by without it too much of a problem. And now back to the battle between Morsdorf and Voigt, fighting it out for 8th position on board the front nose of Morsdorf. Yep, there's the confirmation. And he's holding quite wide here. Let's see if Matthew Voigt might be up on the inside.
Yes, he is. Oh, he's over the crest. And Morsdorf is back.
That was a good bit of driving there by Voigt to keep it out of the tires there on the outside. Morsdorf really held up there by Chuck Chambliss in the Corvette. Not going to see where Matthew Voigt ended up in all of that, but it looks like close battle for the lead here in GT3 as we switch over. Ooh, Colin almost on the grass there, trying to see if he can't sneak by on the outside. And
yeah, that was a bit of weaving. I was pushing a little bit there. Burness went to the inside, then the outside again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what our regulations say exactly concerning blocking, but I know it is. In generally, you can make one move to defend a position, and then you can move back towards the racing line, but you have to leave a car's width.
Well, those are the Formula 1 rules. The iRacing rules are you're not allowed to move to block someone's forward momentum, which I believe is the case in most racing series. F1's a little bit different. I mean, you obviously want to set a higher standard there, but it's kind of hard to tell from that angle exactly if he was blocking James's forward momentum or not. But regardless, the battle continues, and we got 6 minutes left, just over 6 minutes, to see what they can do.
Well, that's Victor Beltran getting in the middle of those two guys as he makes his way past. Looks like that might impact Verness a bit. We'll have to see how what kind of top speed he's able to get out of the last corner. Looks like he might have done okay as we're not focusing on him right now. We're actually looking at the battle at the top of GT1. That's Brent Briles off. I think he didn't get any damage there. But the battle at the top of GT1, Ty Carver leading that currently, but he's got Timothy Stoll just behind him.
I'm just noticing too, my timing is about, it looks like Brent Briles did have damage there, but timing is about 5 seconds off actually, so here we go. Draft. What? No. Well, good. Battle.
It means he didn't do it.
Ill times, yeah.
It means that 3-1. Also, probably this is going to
almost
happen.
4-1.
Yeah, this is a much better battle than that was, despite Oh, yes, Stoll is a little bit inching. No.
Tide Carver.
Oh,
off.
Carver. Whoa, way off.
Did he just biff that? He must have.
Might have.
He went really
But
straight.
yeah,
All right, let's
he
look at
carried
Carver.
a lot of speed.
Yeah, let's not look at Carver while he's crashing. That's fine. Just watching him lap around
he's
left.
still running. Carver managed to save it, but he lost some time. He is now showing 3 seconds behind Tim Stoll. Actually, he's losing time pretty badly now. He must have, maybe not have damage.
Now back with the battle between Jerry Morrisdorf and Matthew Voigt. I believe Voigt had gotten past Morrisdorf at one point, but Morrisdorf now leading in 7th position once again, so managed to find a way back around Voigt at some point, and now back to the top of GT3. Just as close as it's been the entire race.
This is actually pretty remarkable that after all this is said and done, where these guys are still nose to tail. Let's see if Cullen can get him down here. They get the draft. Watch Verness probably go to the inside and to the outside. Trying to break the draft just slightly as Cullen comes through. He's got the inside. It looks like he's going to have the inside through the corner here. Doesn't look like Verness will be able to turn down. But Verness definitely running. Whoa! Guys both getting opposite lock. This is fantastic. Verness on the outside. Now Cullen's on the outside for the next corner. Verness will have the inside. Cullen technically in first place, but can he turn in? No, he can't. Verness is still there, and Verness will pull ahead, and I don't think Cullen's got enough here to get him going into the toe of the boot. No, not yet. We've got LMPs behind them. That's Wyatt Foster. Not battling these guys at all. Going around the outside of James Cullen for no reason.
That's a nasty place to do it. I hope
Got a
it worked out
45-second lead, and there's a battle for the lead in another class. Well, hopefully that's not typical of what happens there, but wag of the finger to Wyatt Foster there for a very, very ill-timed and unnecessary pass with 2.5 minutes left. Luckily, I can see those guys are about half a second apart still, and speaking of half a second apart, John Kuzlin, Marty Jeffries, battle for 5th.
Also the gap between second and third in LMP2, about half a second or so separating Andy Fuller and Daniel Gralty. So a lot of last-minute battles here at the top of the classes as well.
Yeah, it looks like Verness got loose coming off of turn 1, so it killed his momentum there. Cullen's going to come around the outside, and Verness isn't going to have a chance to come back to the left his preferred line, so we'll see if he's able to run through. I don't know if Cullen's got enough of a straight line speed, but he's got Karl Mumbauer in the car up ahead. Got a little bit of a draft. Oh, a little bit of tire smoke. See if Verness can hold it. Cullen all the way around, doing a wall of death around the outside, not able to hold on. He probably came in a little too hard. Crazy action. Now back to the LMPs.
And it looks like there was a car off there that might have been Jeremy Burris, and Andy Fuller was quite wide going through turns 1. He's got another car up in front. That's Jerry Morrisdorf just up in front. They are, of course, lapping him. So Andy Fuller getting a bit of extra draft, looking to pull around on the inside to get by. See if he's going to be able to do it. I think he will. Yep, and he should get by. Also, Daniel Gralty going to try and sneak by here going, but he's going to be on the outside. Yep, so looks like Morrisdorf lets him by there. And minimal time loss for both of those guys. Back to GT1, it's John Kuzlin there, and he is still chasing Marty Jeffries. These guys battling out for 5th place, and now the white flag being shown. So Foster has crossed the timing line, and these guys will do it one more time.
Oh, here we go. Last lap for these guys too, so coming into turn 1 here will be James Cullen's best opportunity to pass. If he doesn't get it done, there's really not a lot of other places that he can do it.
He looked a little bit stronger through turn 1. Yes, he's definitely closing in.
Yeah, but if he gets, the thing is, if he gets in too close.
We don't want you to talk, Anthony.
Gap is dropping as they head down towards turn 1. Vernet's going to be on the outside, and he's managed to hold that outside line a few times. We've seen, looks like Carl Mumbauer hopefully getting well out of the way, but I think he may have impeded Vernet's just a touch as he wasn't sure where he was going to be. That's Cullen into the lead with only a few corners left. Vernet's going to try around the outside going into the boot. Not going to have it. That's going to be James holding on to that first place position.
Yeah, but this isn't over yet, folks. We got to see. Look at this coming on the inside there. Vernet's trying everything he has. Oh, little tap.
Contact.
Oh, and they're both able to hold on to it, but that's going to settle it, I think. Cullen holding on. Vernet's dropping back just a little bit. Vernet's after having another tap there. I don't think he's going to try to stick a pass in there again, but oh yeah, just so you know, Wyatt Foster won the race, so there we go.
Surprise.
Yep. James Cullen, Daniel Vernet's. Yep, looks like that one's over. Now we got Chuck Chambliss and John Kuzlin. An LMP in there somewhere. Oh, look at this. Clever. Can he get both of them? Oh, no. Oh. Where's Kuzlin? Is he back down the inside? Yep. Okay. Chuck had to go for it. That was that was definitely a ballsy attempt there. That's a three-way battle we didn't see up until this point. But, oh, look at this. This is second place in the LMPs.
Oh, and contact there between Gralty and Stoll. Stoll was leading GT1. Is he going to be able to... Yeah, he's got enough of a gap between Todd Carver that he's able to finish, but wow.
Pooped and swore all at the same time.
Wow.
That was crazy. That said, with the lead that Tim Stoll had, I'm sure Dan Gralty wasn't expecting him to be exactly where he was at that point. Fighting hard for there, but that was decided. And now Victor Beltran trying to get Tim McLeish on the last lap. Got a Corvette in the way.
And McLeish is going to hold on, and that's going to give him ninth? Yes, ninth for McLeish.
Tim Stoll winning the GTs, and Cullen, standings.
Yes, well, Wyatt Foster racks up another 25 points to give himself 175. Dan Gralty now looking pretty safe there in second. Ryan Huff also looking fairly safe in third. Brent Browser and Brian Carey could still battle it out for fourth there, though. And even Lance Snyder isn't out of reach there. Todd Carver with 165 points is almost completely safe from Jeremy Broson's second. Lauren Bateman pulling ahead of Dinos Milano, who's tied with Timmy Stoll with that big win for fourth. And John Kuzlin dropping down another 10 points to sixth. Safe, though, from Stephen Clark. And finally, James Cullen with that win and Chris Dameron Jr.'s retirement has now a 20-point gap. And so that went from tied to a 20-point gap. Corey Davis looking pretty good there in third. And Russell County Anthony Nunez, the closest next competitors there, fighting out for fourth.
That was an exciting race. I don't know if it's just coming off of Road Atlanta, which wasn't as exciting, but that was battles like crazy.
Well, we've got two more races left in the season here, Brands Hatch and Road America. And both of those have now been run, so we'll be getting those to you as soon as we can. Which means, of course, it's... Whoa, someone blew up in the pits.
It was like 50 feet in the air.
Time to start thinking about Season 11, and it's not too late. In fact, it's actually too early to sign up for Season 11. But
best
head
promo
over
ever.
to ISRAleague.com and join the forums, say hello, and get ready for another great season. We'll have 2 car classes, both GTs, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I said, first time we got the Ford GT and the McLaren in one class, and then the Corvettes will be the lead class in that. Big fields, great action. You can see them there. The Corvettes and the McLarens are having great battles and throwing that Ford GT in there. It's going to be a fantastic season. So ISRAleague.com, I suggest you come join up because it's going to be great.
Oh, as always, thank you to Z1 Simwheel, our sponsor, and to the racers and admins for making these excellent races possible. And of course, to Brian Carey and Anthony Nunez for their outstanding commentary and great advice and beer selection. I'm Daniel Quaroni, and we'll see you again next time. Have a good night.